Okay, got the box cutter, blade. Now to carefully cut this without cutting myself up. Oh. One piece to go be split into two. One piece, two pieces. Woot 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 woot. It's like pong. Boop 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 boop. Anyways, I'm gonna draw the outline on one of these with the blade, and then I'm gonna carve it out to extent, and then use the Dremel tool sanding part and sand out and be ready to go. The next part, that is. Okay, what I did here, make sure it's the correct side here, is did something like this. When the blade is going to be nested in it, it's going to have something like this. I'm going to have plenty of space to work with. So, with that said, glad I'm not holding it the other way. But that's what I'm going to do. You know, measure twice, cut once. Yeah, goes with this as well. Now, here we go. Have the outline. Now, you're probably going to wondering, why don't I do the same with the other side? Well, in my experience, it gets kind of testy, I guess you could say. I've tried doing that before, and it doesn't meet up. So what I usually do is I'll carve it out, make sure this side fits, put the other one on top, flip it over like so, and, you know, have it set like this in a way so I can know that it'll be equal. So, with that said, zoom out a bit, there we go, so you can see what I'm doing. So, I usually do this. I shouldn't have to say, but I feel like I have to say, is watch your fingers. You will cut yourself if you don't pay attention. And this stuff, these blades are wicked sharp. They'll go right to your bone, and yeah, not fun. There you go. What I did is I cut it into something like of a grid pattern. And now, carefully, okay. Once you get the rough shape carved out, You could continue with your knife, but times like this I like to use my Dremel tool. Okay, well, spared you all the the noise. I mean, hell, editing the videos of that was like even that got annoying. But here we go. As you can see, it's halfway in there. That's exactly what I want. So now to start the other one. Okay, this is what I'm going to do. Get them flush as possible. Flip it over. Try not to mess up. There we go. There we have it. Right there. Take my pencil. And repeat. I'll be doing the same as I did before. I'll show you guys the when it's done. So I'll spare you the long, tedious detail. Okay. Here's the part. I put them together like so. And it slides in. And it don't fall out. That's what I'm looking for. Now, there's it's almost done. All I have to do is just glue it and clamp it together. But, you see, right there, we all can see what the problem is going to be here is knife goes down, it's going to go, starts hammering, doing this. And if you're off the side, stab you or get stuck in there. And so, what I'm going to do is take my Dremel tool and kind of concave the sides here on the interior. So I'll show you in a second here. Okay, so now as you can see, I concave the interior side of it. Not too much, but it'll now when it goes down, it's going to go in easily. So that's what I'm looking for. Now, to glue it together. Huzzah! My advice, if you make something like this, is trust me on this, is take it from somebody who's done it. Don't leave your knife in it, because the glue, can seep out and you'll have your knife glued inside your wooden sheath. Especially if you put your aluminum sheath around it, and then you have to take your whole sheath apart. Even clamped, like this, you glue it and you have your knife in there, it's still going to get stuck, and it's a regular pain in the derriere. Keep getting ahead of myself here, but what I like to do is make an arrow and write down, edge, where the edge is going to be, because that way I will remember where the edge is going to be going down, instead of trying to put it in like so, upside down instead of like so. Okay. Now we're ready to glue. God. I anticipate some glue to get inside, but that's okay. It ain't that much of a issue per se. There we go. And there we go. The interior sheath is pretty much done. And just needs to cure. And then wrap the leather sheath around it and you have yourself a full complete sheath. So more later on. Alright guys, it's been sitting cured for 24 hours. One of the things I did here is I made kind of a cut there, took the knife out, did this to figure out where that is so I can you know, round that corner out a bit without hitting the edge here or the knife. That'd be annoying as all out. So what I'm going to do is use the sander here and just kind of round out the sides here, you know, even it out, so that way when I put the leather on it, it'll be conform a lot better without any, you know, bumps, lumps, and all sorts of things. So here we go. Safety glasses. Okay, one of the things I also did, what I should have done earlier, was make a drainage hole. You know, I mean, it's a good idea to have it, but I don't know why you want to put your, like, you know, knife away soaking wet, you know, dripping and everything. But, you know, you never know. You could be caught in a downpour and, you know, water could collect in there. I don't know. But it just seemed like a good idea just to have anyway, so, okay. Anyways, there we have it. Nicely conformed. Having it, you know, this way as is, just because it'll be more flush with the guard here. So, alright. We're getting there. We're getting there. So now, we're going to be putting the leather on. So, alrighty. Alright guys, had the leather here soaking for a bit. Still quite wet, which is fine. Next thing you want to do, or I want to do, is get the leather positioned so I could have it on, you know, position the belt loop on it. I could either have it, you know, the normal belt loop where just you thread your belt through it, or what I'm planning on doing is making sort of like the dangler, like the Finnish way. I mean, this is, you know, kind of like a Finnish puku in a way. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put a dangler on it, and I'm going to sew it up like the old-fashioned way. So here we go. First thing I'm going to do is position it to where I'm going to have the knife coming out, so make it out coming out fairly easy. I'm thinking like this, give or take. And then what I'm going to do next is cinch the leather around as much as I can. Take my easy awl, kind of scribe a line right there. Take it out. Fold the leather over. Look for my angle. Alright. That's the preliminary line. I'm going to go, more than likely, it's probably going to go, you know, kind of like this, the bait, kind of half moon crescent. But it's generally how I'm going to want it to go. Find out where the bottom of the sheath is. So, as you can see right there, it's not that clean. It's kind of at a sharp angle, but I'm actually going to go like this. I'm going to show you how I'm going to do this with the punch. So, here we go again. There we go. You notice right here, did kind of a square hole. What I'm going to do is when this dries out, is drill a hole through there, and then put like a ring through there, and then attach it to the loop that goes onto my belt. So, now to sew it up. Yay! Okay, before I do that, I'm going to make some decorative designs on the sheath. I have a leather punch or something like that with a deer's head. So let's see here. Find out where the... Should have placed that warning for don't wear headphones. And then take my antler and scroll some lines on it. There we go. Like so. So when it dries out, it's going to keep the conform, hopefully. So, now to sew it. Okay, what I'm going to do is take this knife out so I don't stab myself, is measure how much I need. Usually I do 3 times the length. So let's go from there. Give a little bit of extra. And it's raining. So, well, let's move this inside, shall we? Okay, inside. Sorry for the lack of light. Let me see if I can get more light in here. Okay. Ow, dang, blasted. Oh, man, that hurts. Yeah. Smacking your knee on the edge of a desk. All right. Okay, first things first. That's why it's good to have the leather roll. There we go. Gonna help make holes in it, so. There we go. Alright, let's see if this works. Of course, if you haven't seen something like this already, of me doing stuff like this with the Orluscula Puco, I made a sheath from that as well. So I'll put a link to that if you want to see that as well. So that way I won't have to bore you with a complete step-by-step process here. So. Son of a... Yeah, I ain't gonna tell you how many times I've done that. God. That's the trouble with sewing it this way, is it takes time and your hands start cramping up, tiring out. So, anyways, pretty much done here. Yeah, that'll cut it. There we have it. All I have to do now is heat that up, burn it off and everything, and well, let this son of a gun dry. So, alrighty. Just out of the way. So, here we go. See you when this dries out. Hey guys, alright. The leather has dried out. As you can see, it's nice and sturdy. Got some little bit of glue that got on there, but that's alright. It's not too bad. Word of advice, as tempting as it is, to dry it out, don't put it at a prolonged heat source. The reasoning why, especially if you use a wooden insert like I did, is the glue starts to become a little bit more fluid again and starts creeping into with the knife, and then you get your knife glued into your sheath. Happened to me one time. I had to put the sheath into a vise and grabbed hold of the handle and just yank it real hard. And there was had rust and corrosion. It was just oh man, had spent most of the day polishing it. So anyways, what I'm going to do here is trim it with the box cutter. Yeah, I probably could have done that when it was still wet, but I like to have it dry like this because that way, something goes wrong, I can still work with it. the evil UPS truck. The bane of old dog's existence, it seems. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is cut a bit end, and I'll be right back. Well, got the whole thing trimmed off. As you see, I also left a kind of an opening for a drainage hole. So, next thing I'm going to do is drill a hole in there. So. Okay, one hole down, and here's the ring I'll be using. It's going to go in like so, attached to the belt loop, and then we'll be good to go after all that. The first thing I'm going to do is sand out this area here. In case you haven't noticed, this is kind of high up a bit, so I'm going to level this out and trim the inside a bit. So here we go. Alright, got our sander here. Got my replacement 1x30 sander on back order. It's on back order, so gonna have to use this for the time being. But I've changed out the sanded disc here, but I'm leaving the belt here on, because when it's like really coarse, or when it's new, it'll bite into the leather a little bit more, and I don't need it to take out any of the stitching. So let's do this. Might help if I change plugs. Okay, there we go. Yeah, bumped it a few times with the sander, but that's what sandpaper's for. So now I'm going to kind of concave the interior here, so the guard will be a lot easier to get into. So here we go. Okay, sanding time. Okay, gotta have a couple grades of sandpaper here. Got nothing too harsh, really. Got a 120 grit, 150, a 400, and a 600 grit. Now, we're in the home stretch here. So, oh man, soon the whole knife completion will be done. We'll have the completed knife, the completed sheath, and I'll be wearing this on every outing I go to. So. At least that's the stipulation I'm putting on myself at the moment. Switching over to the 150 grit. Yep, making sure it is, because the lighter ones also look the same. There we go. Now, the even finer kind, which really starts polishing out all the scratches and such, generally. And now, finally, the 600 grit. I guess I could go lower and polish this whole thing up, but you know, I don't want it to be too shiny. It's going to be glossy enough when I use the wood dye here. Not the wood dye, the leather dye. Well, let's get this dyed up and get the handle. Oh my god. The belt loop put on. Good grief. So, here we go. I guess that's a good sign that I think I have enough fun there. Oh, yeah. You know, it ain't something until you start dropping and fumbling with stuff. So. Okay. Alright, everybody do collective groan. Now we're going to wait a few minutes for this to dry. Alright guys, what I have here is I just warmed up a mixture of neat's foot oil and beeswax. I like to get enough wax in there in the neat's foot oil, and when it finally cools down, it becomes something sort of like a hard petroleum jelly, semi-hard. So let's get this oiled up and waxed up. Yeah, don't be stingy on this. You want to make sure as much as of it gets impregnated into the leather as possible. That, and when it gets in there and polished up, it's going to really be pretty good looking. make it a nice goopy mess. Be sure to get the welt, because that's where a lot of moisture gets in. So, here we go. Do the belt loop. Not the handle, like I said last time. Once you get a nice goopy mess all over it, you're going to want to, well, first, hey, clean off your hands. Is get a heat source. You could use a stove, fire, and then heat it up and make sure it draws it all in. And with the excess, take a rag or paper towel, just kind of wipe it down a bit. Apply a little bit more heat. There we go. Now, to put the handle on. Or, good grief, what is it with me and handles today? I have no idea. Attach the loop to the sheath. There we go. See? Simple. Now to put the sheath together completely. Attach the belt loop and the sheath via the ring. There we go. And if you have a vise, which is going to be a good advice, har har, you could use it to help you close the ring together. is always the fun part, the last part of getting this ring together. Just trying to get it to perfectly closed. Okay, for the most part, to your other left, Joe. There you go. I just need to tap that down, and it should be almost good to go. There we go. If I get it, there we go. Right there. Zoom out here. There we have it. Now what I'm going to do is heat it up and then apply some wax to it. Yeah, it seems contrary, but, you know, maybe a little bit of waterproofing helps. Give it a nice once over with the 600 grit. There we go. And here it is, the finished product. So, as I mentioned before, this is going to be a knife I'm going to be bringing with me, in addition to one of the other knives, to the Golden Trout Wilderness. Hopefully, depending on my job doesn't screw things over. So, anyways, but here it is, the finished product. So, there we have it. So, like if you liked it. If you don't like it, hey, let me know what I did wrong. Maybe I can improve. And if you haven't already, subscribe. So, talk to you later.